Hey everyone, my name is Alex.
I'm Jeremy.
And welcome to PianoLand TV. We created this channel for you to learn about classical music in a fun way.
And to share our activities, knowledge, and what it takes to become a musician.
And a way and a chance for you to connect with us during these difficult times. Jeremy here is our co-host for PianoLand TV. He's a violinist and also a violin and piano instructor, as well as an entrepreneur. So many things, Jeremy. Can you tell us more about what has happened since you were born?
So I started piano actually when I was 3.5. But my mother was a pianist and she wanted me to learn how to play. And so when I was around 5.5, when I was still in Tokyo, the preschool there had a violin class, and the teacher there recommended I take private lesson. So I actually started at the Yamaha school, where they have the shop and the school put together, and from there I started continuing both piano and violin. And when I moved to United States, when I was in elementary school, I continued my studies. And when I was in middle school, I entered the Madness preparatory division.
Right.
And when I actually started there, I realized that I had a lot of technical problems.
Right. And you said Mannes, right? Where's
Right.
Mannes located?
It's in New York City. It's one of the 3 conservatory, the Mannes, the Manhattan School, and Juilliard. And of course, we'll talk about later how you are a lot of really, how do you say? You have a lot of connection with the Manhattan School. But yeah, and then starting from there, I really fixed up my technique, and a lot of things changed. And I won the concerto competition in the pre-college, and when I was in high school, and then when I went to university, first I wasn't actually planning to become a musician since it's a really difficult career. And so first I started Rutgers University in the arts and science field, but then I actually participated in the orchestra for non-majors. And the conductor there actually recommended, why don't I switch to the music school? And I really thought about it because I wasn't really enjoying my school. And I felt maybe I wanted to still continue in music.
Right.
And so I decided, why don't I take that opportunity? And I had a very good time. Rutgers, the Mason Gross, the music school, and I graduated last May. And actually, since then, of course, as I thought before, when I was in going high school to university, it's a very difficult career to become a musician, just to live. So what I have decided is that maybe I'll take a different career, but also continue a career in music. So I recently entered a IT company that has a training program before you start your work, so I could get a lot of knowledge before I start. And also I teach 2 times a week. And so it's very nice what I have right now, I think. And
yeah, you're doing a lot, Jeremy.
right, exactly. And then so I can do what I like to do, and also something I also need to do. And actually, I think I enjoy doing both, actually.
Right.
So Alex here is the host of the PianoLand TV. And you're a classical pianist, you're a piano instructor, you're getting your doctorate at Rutgers University, And when you were younger, you were also on America's Got Talent. And so, please tell our viewers and me also about your background.
All right. Well, when I was young and fresh, at the age of 4, I started piano with my mom because I looked and saw in the house a beautiful brown piano, just like this color. But it was an upright piano, and I started to grow interest in it because of the sound it made. I had no idea. I saw only like 2 colors, right? White and black. I was like, oh, what do these black notes do? White notes do? And I started playing, and my mom started teaching me, and that carried over to elementary and middle school and eventually into high school. But it wasn't always a smooth process of loving music. In later middle school to high school, I started to grow apart from music for several reasons. One, I lived in New Jersey, in the southern part, where it's very peaceful, lots of nature.
Was a casino?
Oh yeah, casinos and the beach, right? And classical music was not very popularized. And for many down there, it didn't connect to them. I was sort of like the oddball in school, that people always claim I can always play fast. Piano's not about playing fast, and as well as for other instruments. Music is from the heart and the soul, and really enjoying it, not just for acrobatic playing. But I steered away from piano only because I was in an environment where it wasn't popularized, and my peers also wasn't into classical music. They were more into marching band and sports and all types of activities outside of classical music. And then one day, I was just eating lunch, and some of my friends said, hey, there's a teacher that teaches piano in our high school, and we would like you to meet him, introduce you two to each other. I said, okay, and I went in this classroom. There was a really nice, beautiful black piano, and that's where I met my former teacher, Edward R. Nelson. And at that time, I didn't know what I was doing. He just told me to play. I played, I think I played Moonlight Sonata, right? Everyone knows Moonlight Sonata. And I played the 3rd movement very fast. And he asked me to play, I played, and people from the class, they looked up, and they just all were putting up down their headphones. It was a piano lab class. And then after that, Mr. Nelson said, oh, you can play. And then later, he asked if he wanted to take me on as a student, if I would accept it. I said, oh, okay, let me ask my mom. I was a kid back then. I didn't have a choice. So pushing forward, I accepted him. Well, he accepted me as his student. And that's where my classical music passion came back. And I started practicing seriously. He taught me music theory, all the intellectual stuff I never learned before. And he was a great man and a great teacher. He still is. He's still my mentor. And that pushed me to go on America's Got Talent. Accidentally, it was this advertisement on YouTube. And I just sent in one of my videos. And also, the video was a composition from Mr. Nelson. So after that, after I went on the show, and they granted me access to be on the live show in front of 40 million people, and that's when I said I want to become a concert pianist. And there it was. I practiced my butt off, and I quit everything. Oh, except the normal stuff, but like my activities and sports, they're all gone, because in order to pursue music, you really have to be serious. And to be serious, you have to, sacrifice some things. And I got my education at Manhattan School of Music with my undergrad and graduate, and currently I'm in my doctoral degree at Mason Groves School of the Arts, Rutgers University. And then the pandemic hit. So Jeremy, is it worth being a classical musician during the 21st century?
Well, I feel maybe if it's what you really love. And of course, you only live one time.
Really?
So if that's the the religion, that's like a different topic. But well,
What on earth? Being only Germany
but
or
actually,
being out.
some religion, they think that you are born again as someone else.
But you never know. You
But
never
never
you
know.
don't even
Right,
remember.
You don't remember. Yeah.
Back to the question.
Right. Yeah. So I think if it's what you really love to do, if it's really what you want to do as a career, then of course it's what you can do. I mean, because because if you don't, you're always gonna regret, right? That you didn't do it. But well, you also have to be realistic. Right? You have to be honest with what you can do, your skill.
Right.
And so let's say, like, it's the same thing as like a sports or anything. I mean, people say you can be anything you want to be, but that's not true at all. And some people just not born with the skill or the talent, and some people didn't have the right training. So it's the same as the sports. Like if I wanted to be a pro tennis player, I can't, because maybe they only have they only have a certain number of people,
Right.
and there's many people who wanted to become pro, but they couldn't become pro. And then I guess there has to be some point where you have to realize that you can't get past where you want. But of course, there's also some people who have that kind of training, have that kind of talent, and can achieve. They could get into a top orchestra. They could become a soloist. They could maybe even become a known teacher. In a big conservatory. But what I have done is, like I said earlier, I have 2 careers. So I feel that's what's best for me, because I believe maybe I came to see that maybe it's not possible for me to become in a top orchestra or become a top class, whatever, So I feel that the way I'm doing my career now, I can have a career in music, but it doesn't have to be the only thing I have. And I have other things. I have a stable position as well as doing music, and then I think that's best for me.
Right. So for our viewers here, what you were describing is it's very tough to becoming a professional classical musician.
Yeah.
But is that path that you're taking? Are you suggesting that for people, right, who are watching this to really think about the path of becoming a classical musician, but also thinking, oh, what can I also do while going through that path?
Right.
But there may be others who don't have that knowledge, right, or experience of going into a different path. Music is like entirely their life.
Right.
But I understand from your viewpoint, music really plays a big role in your life too.
Right.
So how can you, being music such a big role in your life, you're able to go into a different path and include it with your life?
Well, of course, I realized after a certain point, of course, music is like playing the violin. You practice every day. And sometimes you're not at the level you want to be. Sometimes you have the low point. And then and then back then when I was just studying, I thought that's what I was gonna do for a career. And those times you really get really stressed, because that's what you think your career is gonna be. And then when you're not doing well, you feel like, what am I gonna do, right? But now I feel, since I don't have that kind of pressure, of course I have it as a career, half career, but it's not the only thing I have. So I don't have to be so how do you say? It's not the only thing I attend.
Right.
So now I feel actually I enjoy playing more, and because I don't have to how do you say? You know, when I practice by myself, when I perform or something, I don't have to think of it as how do you say, like it's not I'm not so dependent on it, you know. So I can it's kind of more as a half a hobby, and I feel maybe, of course, maybe if I practice really hard every day, maybe my technique is more precise or something like that. But I feel maybe in a way there's maybe when I express or something, the expression is actually better because I'm more free.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, in order to really express yourself in any type of circumstance, it doesn't even have to be music. If your emotions are all bundled up, it's so hard to really let it all go, especially if it's filled with negative emotions and you're trying to play a piece of music that's very happy and carefree. That's really hard to let go and play because it's so different, a complete contrast to each other. And I don't know. If I was angry and someone asked me, "Hey, can you play a piece that's so happy?" I would be like trying to push down the negativity and try to bring out the positivity. So in that aspect, I understand what you're trying to say, the pressure of being a musician, and also for classical music, if you play a wrong note, you definitely know.
Right.
And people who are watching, who are knowledgeable, also know. And that's the pressure of preserving the composer's great works. Is you're going to, of course, it's basic to play rhythm and the right notes of the music, right?
Right.
But do you ever wonder why there's so many musicians in the world?
Well, I guess part of it is that they try to promote teaching of music.
Not
Even-
only teaching, but also themselves. You
Right,
see,
right,
you
right.
see, like the reason why there's different artists, right? Is each of them have a unique personality, right?
Right.
We don't have that same exact personality. Sure, there are some similarities, right? And you also play piano. So if you play the piano, I play the piano. We play the same piece. We might not sound exactly the same. There are some moments that you express differently and I express differently. But that's the true beauty of it. No performance is ever exactly the same because performed by different artists. And it's hard, like what you're saying, going back to the topic, is a musician really worth it? In your case, it is, because you found your happiness including music within yourself, but also finding something else that you enjoy doing, and also financially you're more secure that way.
Right.
And for me, I'm kind of going the other way, right? It's like you see that what is it, that meme where a car is here, you either go straight or you go this way. I think I'm going straight. I think I'm going straight to the classical music route. Like my career is really based on that. And to be quite honest, it's actually scary.
Right. But I think if you want to achieve the highest level that you can, of course, that's the only thing you should do, of course. Because, like myself, if I have other work, maybe I can't practice every day. I can't focus on the playing.
Oh yeah, practicing
Right.
every day.
Right.
It's not a requirement. It's double the requirement.
Right.
And musicians really know. Like, if we don't practice for a couple of days and we come back to it, for most of the time, it feels sucky, right? For some days, actually, taking a break from the instrument is actually pretty nice. But if you keep on doing it, it's actually not good. It's like maintaining, right? Maintaining our form, like any other sport, right? You don't take breaks from sports all the time. Once in a while, yeah, like let's say you finish the tournament, you have to take a break, let your body recuperate. It's the same for any instrument, either being a violinist, a pianist, cellist, woodwind player, brass. You got to take care of yourself. But if you're on a ongoing basis and going for a role, practicing is really important, but also very stressful. At times, you don't even feel the music. Like you said, like sometimes it just doesn't work, right? So practicing is not always great. Most of the time, I feel that practicing is burdensome at times because I don't want to keep playing the same piece over and over again. It gets really repetitive.
Right.
But there's other times that, oh, I got the sound I want. I got the technique, and that's when I feel like I'm being rewarded.
Right.
And then I feel like, oh, I'm finally enjoying the music.
Right.
So, really, is it worth being a musician in the 21st century? Many people have different answers. Like Jeremy, he chose to be a violinist, but also have something on the side. For me, I'm really putting all my eggs in one basket. But being a musician doesn't mean just playing your instrument. You can do so many things with your instruments. Like for me, aside from being a soloist, I can be an accompanist, I can be a chamber musician, I can be a vocal coach. Knowing about singers, the way that they sing, I help them. Going to musical theater. There's also different genres of jazz and Broadway, things that you can expand on, right? A violin's the same thing.
Right, exactly. So well, yes, like we just said, you have to really think about what you want to do, and you just have to be really honest with yourself.
Yes, please be honest with yourself. If you really want to pursue this, you may be young and say, yeah, I really want to do it. But as you get older, Jeremy thought he was going to be it. But as you get older, you experience more things and more experiences, and it's not a perfect world you see. Being young is great. I wish I was 18 again. It's a nice feeling where you're really naive and things are just starting out. You just want to have fun. But as you get older, the career aspect really kicks in, and if you don't have it together, it's very scary. I'm experiencing myself. You're experiencing yourself. It doesn't matter. At every part of the life, you really gotta think for the future and see if this is really happiness that you're seeking.
Right, of course. And then maybe one other thing is related to maybe what we were talking about, the pressure.
Yeah.
When you practice by yourself, of course, you want to do your best. But when you perform, that's another challenge.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
And then for me, mentally, I feel that I get a lot of pressure on the stage. And I realize maybe I don't really want to deal with that kind of pressure. And so maybe that is one of the reasons I decided maybe not to go fully into the music performing path, because let's say if you have an audition, you want to join an orchestra, no matter how well you play
Or prepare.
Yeah. The only thing that matters is what you do in the
Right.
And then I didn't think I could deal with that kind of pressure, And even listening to classical music, I didn't really enjoy it as much after a certain point, because I would listen to it to study in a bit, to see how they do things, how different players, how do they play like this, it's not enjoyment really. But now I feel like, since I'm a little bit, I'm one step apart.
Right.
I can actually listen to it as an entertainment. And I feel maybe I'm at a very comfortable position now.
Right. Yeah, being a musician, it's a tough question. Is it really worth being a musician? It really comes down to you. If you believe in yourself and you can imagine what your future life will include. No one knows what their future is. but you really got to be working towards your own personal goals. And you know, you have two different perspectives here. And yeah, performing is scary for me, but when I really perform well, sometimes not well, but for the times that I perform well, I feel so rewarded for my hard work, but also spreading the beautiful music to my audiences. It's such a great honor to be able to play such as Beethoven's music or Chopin's music. These composers, their music is a long time ago,
Right.
like in the 17th century, 18th century, and we're still studying it. It's in the university level, conservatory level. So it's really up to you if you really believe that you can do it for yourself. One is for enjoyment, second for financial, and you've got to just put it all in together. It's like a pot, right?
Right.
You heard of hot pot, right? Well, we eat food and we just put everything together, right? You don't just put like just one piece of veggie and that's it. Just like our life, you gotta put everything in together, and that is your life. You can't just put just one thing.
But I also feel like of course there's a lot of pressure in performing, and of course one of the most things that makes the pressure is every moment counts, especially in the classical music. But it's actually one of the only profession that you actually get applauded when you
Right,
finish.
yes.
And many other professions get applauded. Maybe only like maybe actress when they crank up, or the space astronaut that comes down from the space, they get applaud.
Right.
But other career, you don't really get an applaud. And I feel maybe that's something special experience.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Well, that's it for this. What's this? Is it really worth becoming a classical musician in the 21st century? I hope this is helpful for you. Please ask us any questions, and we would love to hear your feedback. And I hope this video was very insightful to all of you classical musicians, but also to those who don't know much about classical music. We're here for you, and I hope in this video that you're able to relate it, and also for you music lovers too. This video is meant for everyone. It's not just for classical musicians, and we are more than happy to share our experiences with you. Until next time, take care.